Our top focus this hour, the US has unveiled a major expansion of sanctions on Iran, putting the world on notice to cease doing business with Tehran. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has announced the new measures while warning that Washington will impose punishing secondary sanctions on those that fail to cut their Iran-related business. Bessent dubbed the campaign as Operation Economic Outcast, but did not set a specific deadline, however warned that the US does not have infinite patience. Bessent said that every country would be given a defined window to wind down its business with Iran. Bessent also revealed that President Donald Trump was personally calling global leaders, urging them to cut economic ties with Iran. Questioned whether China would also be targeted next, Bessent was blunt, saying no one is above this.
We want to make clear here today that no one is above the reach of U.S. sanctions, that if they facilitate transactions and are part of the ecosystem that turns Iranian oil into money, into repression, they will be targeted.
The new sanctions will expand the reach of secondary penalties into digital assets, technology, gold, aviation, and shipping. The Treasury Department has also sanctioned nearly 60 entities and suspended several previously issued licenses that allowed certain payments to Iran.
Treasury has mapped every node, every facilitator, and every network that Iran has used to smuggle oil and evade sanctions. Beginning today, the actions of Treasury and other agencies will tighten the noose and block every potential source of revenue that funds the IRGC and the evil Iranian regime. We are enforcing a zero leakage approach.
But even as Washington rolled out the so-called economic D-Day, it said that the military option still remains on the table. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth said that the US is not ruling out kinetic strikes anywhere in the Strait of Hormuz or around Iran. However, reports citing US officials suggest that the sanctions will remain Washington's main tool against Iran, at least until after the midterm elections. Remember, the war is quite unpopular among the American public. Iran, meanwhile, is playing down the US threat while warning that countries cooperating with the sanctions could face retaliation in return. Iranian economy minister has predicted another defeat for Washington, while saying that Tehran has a 2-year plan to counter the new sanctions.
Naturally, they want to wage economic terrorism against us, and we have our own tools as well. We know how to play this game. This time, they should not think our response will be purely defensive and that we will only defend ourselves. They should also expect us to go on the offensive.
Tehran also escalated its rhetoric over the Strait of Hormuz. The Persian Gulf Strait Authority, a new Iranian body that is set up to manage the key waterway, has blacklisted 45 tankers accused of violating its crossing rules. It has also threatened action against vessels that transfer cargo with those blacklisted ships. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations said that an oil tanker was struck by a projectile off the coast of Oman. The vessel was damaged, but there were no reported casualties. And as the US continues to ramp up economic pressure, Pakistan's Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir traveled to Tehran for talks with Iranian leaders. The visit by Asim Munir is being seen as a possible mediating mission.